I'm the fuck out. I didn't even get started on what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Bro, that movie was crazy.
Crazy, Franksy. Yeah.
What are the specials tonight?
That sounds good. I'll have that.
Hey everybody, Specialists in Nothing, back at you again, talking about everything, specializing in nothing. My name is Frank. As always, Joe and Danny, you guys want to say what's up?
What up? What up?
How you doing?
Not get COVID. That's
No,
not what I was told.
No, I never said it was 100%. They always said it was like 90-something% or whatever. They did say that.
It definitely was effective getting the shot.
I'm not going to say it wasn't
people
effective.
were dying at extremely high rates before the shot. People still died after getting the shot from getting COVID, but not even triple the amount of people that were dying without the shot.
Yeah, but how do we know what that number is of people that died after, like that had it or didn't have it?
Because when they die, it's in record now. If you die and they do an autopsy of you,
no, I know, but I'm saying, how would we know that? Like we're just assuming
people who died who had COVID. They don't say the amount of people who died who had COVID who got the unvaccinated.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but there has been I've read plenty of stories, whether they're publicly announcing it on news stations or not. It's still information you can get. Like, but I just think everyday news. Like I read the newspaper, a lot of them, and
the story is always like these people died from COVID, not that they died from COVID and weren't vaccinated. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. That's what my point is.
Right.
So like you don't really know if like all those people were even vaccinated or not. But like my point was
back up. What do you mean? What people?
The people that you're talking about that died after, like as the decline came, like and the numbers went down. You don't know those people that were dying weren't vaccinated.
Yes, you do. Because when you die, was he vaxxed or not? Did you have a card or did you not? Is he in our vaccination system? It's like when you die, they're going to want to see
doctors
if you were
would know that stuff,
vaccinated
but I'm
or
saying
not.
they weren't
Yeah,
putting
but
that
you're
out
not
there.
putting
They
that on
weren't-
TV saying
Okay,
that's what I'm saying. They weren't saying like,
but
oh,
because
people died, but they weren't
compared to
vaccinated.
100
But because
vaccinated
it's
people who died.
because it's not on TV in your guys' faces. Again, it's in the newspaper. It's in articles online all over that people are dying even though they are vaccinated.
Right, but
It's
that's not
not
being
hidden.
said on the news. And where does everybody get
Right,
their
but-
information from? The news. So everyone thinks that if you're vaccinated, you're safe.
We're talking about the three of us. You guys know this information, or are you telling me because it wasn't on a camera on your television screen in your living room?
I'm just saying that the
way
way it was put out, I'm saying like the way it was always put out is it's always like, oh, these people died from COVID, but it never says if they were or weren't vaccinated. So to us, we're really just assuming because like I said, yeah, if you really want to go deep dive and look, okay, well, was this person vaccinated? Was this person? I guess you could, but like that would take way too much time. You're not really going to look at a record. I don't believe that there's any record that says out of the people that were died, these were the ones that were vaccinated, these ones are not, for us to see as everyday people. I don't think that is. So I think anything that we say on that is just an assumption of like, yeah, the numbers went down because the vaccine came out. We don't really know that. Like any other normal virus has a decline. Like you get a virus for 24 hours, it goes away. It's that. Every virus has a certain amount of limited time. So it's not to say that it was from the vaccine or because the virus just ran its course, because we also had other waves of the virus coming back in different strains because the virus was running its course and reforming, or what's the word I'm looking for? Like
Evolving.
There you go. But yeah, so it doesn't necessarily say that it was because of the vaccine that's why the numbers went down. That's all an assumption. There's no proven fact to say, well, this went down because of this, because it could also be that it ran its course. That's something that they've said. I mean, that's any sickness.
I just think that.
Right, but you guys just said in the beginning of this episode, getting the shot is not effective.
No, he said that. I said
that.
And said it. I said I didn't say that it wasn't effective.
No,
I said that it's equally as effective if you didn't get it.
Effective. I said it's also effective to not get the shot.
Yes, that's what he
whether
said.
you got it or
I
not.
only said getting the shot was effective because I was answering from what you said. You just said, I don't know if we caught it when we started. You said getting the shot is not effective.
No, I said it's all. You said getting the shot is effective
because you said it doesn't do anything. So yes,
no, I said I didn't say that.
No, he said the new things that have been coming out.
It was 100% effective. I said it was never 100% effective. Now there's
Oh
Pfizer
my
dates
God.
documents that came out. There's 80,000 pages that came out, said that they
Right.
knew that it wasn't 95% effective.
Right, this isn't a
Only
secret.
12%.
It wasn't a secret in the beginning. Everybody made it
No,
like
in the
we were
beginning
It
they
was.
did because it was like 91 was
when
one of
I
them,
went
then
to get
95 was
my
another
shot,
one.
when I went down to the Staten Island Ferry area, that whole new thing they had, and they had the fucking COVID thing set up there, and I went there.
They never
When
said
I
100%
sat down,
effective.
they told me it's not 100% effective to my face,
Right.
as well as the person at the table next to me and the table next to me, and so far, you know what I mean?
Nobody said 100% effective.
Yeah, they
'cause
always said
nobody
it wasn't
believed in it.
100%, but they did
No.
lie about the percentage. They were saying it was 95% when it was in fact not, is what he's saying.
To be fair, I don't think they were lying. They just didn't know what the fuck to tell anybody.
But then
They just-
why?
People wanted an answer of this
Yeah.
is gonna completely
This
block
was gonna
COVID.
work.
And that wasn't the answer. So
I
okay,
think that
yeah,
he's
they
right to a
lied,
sense.
but they
You got a
weren't
point,
they
yeah.
weren't lying when they didn't know what to tell you. They just
But why would they false truths in hopes that you get this double triple
not cause a
vax
panic.
booster?
right. It's not like they gave us
Not
a false
efficient.
truth. They gave us the truth, but not the right percentage. Maybe they didn't know the right percentage, but they
But
straight
then
up
why are
told me
they
it's
forcing
not
us to
100%
inject
effective.
it in ourselves?
I don't know.
That's what the issue
I
was.
wasn't forced. So
Yeah, see, it
everybody
wasn't a
walks
force back
around
then.
saying,
I
"Oh,
don't know
people
what's
are
worse.
forcing me." They're forcing you by word of mouth on TV and
Well,
in
no, not
articles.
even like the
But, like,
jobs and stuff that like people like
yes.
teachers and all that, like that's a force. It's not literally a force in like do
Right.
it or
It
do
got
this.
It's
to
a
the
mandate.
point.
They're
It
saying
is-
you
it is
either
a-
get the
okay,
shot or you
a
lose your
punishment
job.
in a sense.
I'm talking
That's
about now.
forced.
Yes, in the beginning they were being really shady about it. All right, but they stopped that shit quick. And if you
How
notice, there's
quick?
not a lot of commercials anymore saying,
There's
"Hey,
still
get,
commercials though.
Yeah,
there
dude, I hear
are
I get you.
still
No, you're right, you're right.
commercials. I'm not saying there's not.
about.
Oh my god! Why do I always have to? Why am I the guy that has to elaborate? Like
I'll say because you feel
completely.
so attacked right now.
it's like if I don't fully elaborate and tell you guys the whole story, you don't understand.
Well, technically, I mean that's a discussion. I mean, we're going off all of our
Yes.
points, and you know what I mean. So technically, I mean, it
Nah,
does get
but
frustrating though when you
I
are on
don't know.
because we have consistently always been on opposite sides.
I didn't feel forced. Even when they were telling me I couldn't go in this restaurant or that restaurant, believe it or not, there was still restaurants I knew of and places I
Yeah.
can go to that I just dealt with it. Because again, I was one of those people that didn't think that this was gonna be forever. It wasn't. There was no way billions of people were gonna all just collapse under news and government and say, okay, we'll stay inside forever and we'll all get the shot together. Like it just wasn't gonna happen. This wasn't gonna last forever. There was
Right,
always going to
and-
be pushback. So in the meantime, like a fucking real man, I didn't cry. Oh, I'm not getting the shot. Oh my God, how are they locking me in? Oh my God. What's that law, Danny? Is it something law? They're gonna fucking come and take over my life.
Martial law.
Martial law, and I can't walk my street. No. You just got to let it run its course. I'm going to go to the 2 delis I know that hook me up and allow me inside without my mask. I'm going to go to the restaurant that serves
Shout
food.
out Mass Escas.
You know what I mean? There's places that, just.
No,
and
I
did.
feel that.
And
I
read it
definitely
out,
Right,
and
but
nobody
now I
forced
agree
me.
with you
I made
on this.
I made
You're
a
right.
decision. I got my
And it
shot.
was-
I'm good. I can go places again.
Okay.
Nobody's really pushing it on me anymore. I don't even have to wear a mask or show my
But
card
you said
anymore.
before,
It's
were
all
like, "All right,
going
it's not
away."
going to last forever. You're going to deal with this little bit of a hump, and then you're going to get through it. Society will get back to some
I'm
type
sure you didn't
of
think it was
normal.
gonna last as long as
Hold
it
on.
did, though. Either.
So now
No,
that
I didn't. But
now
I
that
knew it wasn't
everyone's
gonna last
got their
forever.
shots, and now they're saying, "Oh, actually, you don't need your shots," and they're letting NBA players go back to the NBA without their shots, but medical professions and teachers still have
All
to
right.
have their shots. Wait.
Yes.
I just want to know, why is it fair that the people who throw a fucking ball through a hoop don't need their shots when they're interacting constantly? Hold on. But
I got an answer.
hospital workers, city workers, teachers, all these people, these employees who work at corporate jobs have to get this shot. It was mandated.
All right.
Those
And
people
now
you mentioned
everything
produce
is
revenue for
okay,
the country.
And they're like, "Oh, you know what? You don't need your shot anymore." Why did they shove it down your throat?
Because
Listen,
those
listen.
people make
You lose your
revenue
job.
for the
First of
country.
all-
It's
They're
sad
like,
to
"All right,
say.
you know what? Not everyone's going to agree with us. We're not going to win this one, guys. Let's just throw in the towel."
Right.
but it's
Which
sad
I
to say,
told
but
you
it's
was
because
going to
of
happen
revenue,
months
bro.
ago. And Frank is also right. It also
Think
doesn't
of
have to do with
everything that
money.
was shut down, and they needed to make a lot of money back from things that were shut down for so long. And what's
And
the
you know
easiest,
what?
biggest way to do that? The biggest money making job. So yeah, those are the easiest things to say. Okay, let's
How
let this
fucked
go.
up is it that
It
all
is
government
fucked up,
forcing
but
us to do
you
this?
guys
when you're
got
considering
screwed.
all points,
And-
it's
No,
not
I didn't get
necessarily
screwed.
fucked up.
You did get
because
screwed.
Well, but think about it, D, because if you're considering all points, it's not necessarily fucked up. If you're in
Bro.
charge of the country, right, and you know that, okay, well, if we don't do something, we're gonna run out of money in this amount of days or this amount of months or something like that. That now you're like, fuck, what are we gonna do? So you have to do something like that quick to make that decision to, you know what I mean, fix the economy. So it may not have been the right thing in our eyes because to us it wasn't fair, but it may have been economically the best choice. We don't know because we don't handle big decisions like that on a regular.
Economically, the best choice would
They-
have been to just
they
never elect this guy
They fucked
on
up.
all these false ballots. It's fucked up.
They fucked up.
Who, the government?
Whoever it was, I can't even
There's
put a
been
pin.
multiple times the
they-
government's
when
fucked
I
up,
say
and the American
they
people
fucked
just
up-
believe them because there's no other
No.
reason.
You're not
They
letting
say
me
trust the
finish.
government, but there's a list of things I could name off that the government has done illegally to American people. And
Bro,
they just
everybody does everything. Have you done something illegal in the past
Yes.
week? Probably.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just nobody
this is your
wants
government.
nobody wants to admit it, but everybody's gonna do something they shouldn't supposed to at some point, whether you call it illegal, wrong.
Yeah, even if it's
you
something
know,
small as speeding.
You know what I mean?
That's fine, but
Hold
that's as an
up.
individual
I-
person. This is the
it's-
government.
This is
telling-
the government, yes. But again, Danny, not every one thing is gonna go as planned throughout
It's still
life.
ran by people. There's
It's
still
still
room for error.
people. People have intentions,
Human
whether
error, yeah.
good, bad. It's gonna happen somewhere. It doesn't matter. You could be the most solidified force on the planet. The Avengers did illegal shit. You know what I mean? It's
Cap
like
got arrested.
Cap got
Yeah.
arrested, bro. There were fugitives. Like
It's
you
true.
could, you know what I mean? It's just to show you that even in movies, like the most powerful beings in the world, like it's just gonna happen. It's natural.
He's
It doesn't
right.
matter if you're the government, the police force, the fire
Always
department,
easy
the
to judge.
EMT. You're gonna do something wrong. Someone's gonna do something wrong. Guess what, Danny? You're an EMT. I would expect you guys
Okay.
to never do something out of what you're supposed to. But when someone's life's in your hand and you got to do something you know you're not supposed to, but it's gonna save this person's life, your ass is gonna do it. And guess what? You think people are gonna sit back and be like, "Oh, well, he saved that person's life."
Mhm.
And
And
did
you'll go
something
through the
wrong.
review
But
after. and go through all that
he shouldn't
shit.
have done that because he's an EMT. I expect them to do everything right. Just like you're saying, oh, well, they're the government. You shouldn't expect them to do that.
Mhm.
You should expect the government to do shit wrong, bro, and lie to you because guess what? It's all fucking just men and women. It's
Dude,
humans.
he's literally explaining like that quote, like expect people to be who they are.
Right. I don't care if
Expect
it's
people
the
to be who they are.
government.
Expect a liar to lie. Expect a thief to steal. Expect the government to fuck things up certain
Yeah, they're
times because at
going
the end of the
to.
day, they are people. It
They've
is all
the
ran by
government's
people.
been lying and keeping secrets since it was started how fucking many years ago. There's just history books on things that have gone wrong. It's just gonna happen and it's gonna continue to happen. It's all about the control. You know what I mean? We didn't have control over this situation. So when I say they fucked up, this is what I mean. Nobody knew what the fuck they were doing. Human error all over the place.
Mhm. Yeah, especially with that doctor. What's his name?
Fauci.
Yeah, him.
You understand
So
what I'm
the
saying?
people who
Does
do
that,
wrong.
does
Well,
that
let me-
make a little
so
bit
wait,
more sense?
I
to
wanted to
you?
ask
Yeah,
you
but
this
the people
before,
who
Joe.
do wrong, do you think they should be punished for what they do?
Listen, if that was
Depends
the
on the
case,
intent.
if that was the right, if that was the case, then the whole world would be getting fucking punished.
Yeah,
and
it always comes down to intent at the end
You know
of
But
the
what
day.
I
why
mean?
is it that the government cannot get in trouble with shit?
because they are higher than most
Well,
other
and
regular
not even that.
beings.
They
You
can
don't
do
know those
wrong and it's
decisions,
okay?
D.
No,
Think
it
about it
doesn't
like
mean
this.
that they can do wrong and it's okay. But being the government, it's just easier.
Well, think about it
And
like
guess
this.
Get
what?
away with shit.
This is jealousy on our part because
Like-
I wish I could get away with shit at my job that I don't get away with.
Like,
But it's
we're
not
not
even
the
just getting
government,
away
so
with
I'm gonna
it.
get in
and-
trouble.
It's not even just getting away with things. When you're in power, right? Like, so think about it related to like, so for a show for you, right? Because I know you like to do that with movies and so yeah. So Walking Dead, I know you're big on The Walking Dead, right? This is like an
Was.
end of the world type of situation or whatever, right? But the people that are in charge, like Rick or this one, that, there's times where they make mistakes in the show. They've hurt other people that were close to them in the show by the decision they made, even though they thought it was the right thing to do,
There
right?
you go.
Were they judged? Were they tried? Were they punished? No, because the intent
That's a
It's
lawless
with
society.
all the
There is
factors.
no
Right.
Wait,
It's a TV
listen,
show,
That's
it's
a
the
but like,
factor that
same.
you gotta
It's
throw
the
in
same.
there.
No, but it's the same
You're right.
principle because when they have all these factors that you don't know about, all these things that they're factoring in because they make all these big decisions regularly and they factor all these things in regularly, you're thinking about your individual priorities, whereas they're thinking about a mass of priorities. Like they're thinking about the many over the few. You know what I mean? So yes, that means there's going to be times where you're not going to
Listen,
like the decision.
If I went to your job tomorrow as an EMT, I would come off that truck at the end of my fucking 12-hour shift being like, holy shit. Do you know what I mean? Tell me I won't. You go to my job working with the animals every day. You would come out being like, holy shit, can't believe all that shit just happened today. You know what I mean? Like, again, it's easy to sit here like this, stare at our television, read our newspaper and say, how's the government not, why are they doing this? Why the fuck? And I'm not sticking up for them. I still am 50 on your side on all the shit they do.
Right.
Wrong,
I agree.
Go spend a week in some high government official shoes, and then you come back and be like, wow. You know what I mean? You're going to sit back and be like, what the fuck?
I feel you. I will agree with that.
Not to say that gives them permission to fuck with us and do wrong, but like
someone else's shoes. But
really
the thing is, if the government is doing things, quote unquote, for the masses, who are still getting rich off of everything, and why is there shortages of food when they're eating fine? Why don't secure the borders?
That's the dude you hate helping other countries before helping our own. That's him helping Ukraine.
That's a whole personal thing.
That's a different, that's a whole different topic altogether.
Biden,
depending on who's in charge and
about it. I will.
Yeah. That's depending on who's in charge and things like that, and where we're helping. Those
are just bad calls on our leader, like straight up.
I have a couple things here that are just like little segments that I'd like to just touch on as I'm going by. So go ahead. I'm not going to get into it one by one, but
I'll say before you get into it, I wanted to ask this to Joe before, because based on what we were going off of and whatever. So because part of the stuff, like you said, you do believe in and stuff. Knowing that certain things about like the side effects and stuff with the vaccine that were like not out originally that now have come out now, like the dementia thing specifically, like I know I've kind of mentioned it to you guys when we've talked in the past.
The what?
Like, so there was this thing that came out. I sent you guys a screenshot of it. You might have not seen it. It was like a day when I sent you guys a lot of different stuff. But there was a thing that I saw that was like a news article that said it was like a 15% rise in dementia cases after the vaccine came out or something like that. And it was like people that were found out having dementia after having the vaccine, and like how it was related and blah, blah, blah. And like all this stuff. And I don't know how true it is. Like it was like an ABC News thing or whatever. I really don't know how true it is. So I'm not saying it is true or not. But it made me think,
I feel like
exactly.
ABC
so if they were
neutral channel, you're either NBC and like CNN or your Fox News, and it's like ABC is like, no, we got nothing to do with this. We're just, we're taking a little bit of both.
The point of my question is though, to like kind of get the point of my question is though, is since we know that like that page of those 75 pages of side effects or whatever it was that were like not out right away,
80,000 pages
or 80,000 pages, whatever. They wanted 75 years. That's what it was. Because they were trying to get that to release it so long, and then they were forced to release it after, and now it being released, there's like a panic of what all these side effects are. Like, are you nervous about that at all? Like, since you did get the vaccine?
No.
You're not?
You want to know what I think that is? Because I know what you're talking about. I think that is, okay, before COVID, nobody really had a good tally on diseases and
I feel like
dementia.
They weren't just exposed.
Right. Okay. Let's keep that there, pin in that, because you're right. I feel the same way too. You think we really had a good number, or like dementia? Who the fuck gave a shit about dementia? It was just like, you're old, you have it, boom. We said it to your family, and that was it. There was no like medical records. Now that there's a vaccine, I feel like our eyes are on all this other shit more. And I think they're seeing a lot of cases of dementia that we weren't paying attention to before.
Like almost like so that COVID and the vaccine opened our eyes to this stuff?
What's the only thing to say that it's because of COVID and the vaccine? Those are the only things that have happened. So you don't think it's related, medically.
You think it just helped us notice?
Right. I just think that
it was brought to light.
Right. A lot of things are. A lot of things are. It's not just dementia.
That's a valid.
I don't like how I'm reading shit, and it's like, oh, COVID causes all this extra shit, and I'm like, this is shit that's been happening without COVID forever. It's just now we're paying attention to it more, and we're like, holy shit, a lot of people are having dementia.
Oh, Joe's got some strong points today. I'm not even lying.
I mean, it's fucking reality, bro.
You're right, but now here's the thing. Let's say that's been going. Let's just use the last 10 years, right? let's just say the last 10 years, there's been a fluctuation in dementia or something that it doesn't affect us directly. So we don't know. If you have dementia runs in your family, you're going to know the statistics of it. That's the bottom line. Same thing with cancer. You have an idea about it, right? But now that all of this stuff is coming to fruition because more people are getting dementia, they're like, all right, well, what's the common effect here? Why are more people getting dementia? Unvaccinated, unvaccinated, vax, unvax, vax. Like, oh shit. All right. So seems like the 100 people that we've tested, out of all of this, 85 of them have been vaccinated. So it seems like there's a rise in dementia due to the vaccine, because that's the control of this scientific method here. The
100%,
variable is
100%. You're right.
Up and down.
I get it, because
we don't know the statistics because it doesn't direct us. I guarantee you, if you know someone with Asperger's or someone who has a brother like that or sister, they're going to know more about it than we do.
I'm going to pull an Uno reverse card on you because now you make me look stupid a little bit. You're telling me all this shit gets set up. How do you know the 100 people they didn't test weren't handpicked to specifically pick the ones that had COVID so we could say, oh,
now he's on the conspiracy side.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
That's fine.
I'm going to
how
pull
are you
Uno
going to
reverse card on you?
But how are you going to
I feel like they would do that.
That's fine. But how are you going to handpick 100 people with dementia and hope that they're either vaccinated or not vaccinated?
Now you have all these people's medical files.
But that's not
that runs in their family, and he's had the shot. But
that's not an experiment. If you're picking selectively,
right, Danny? I'm saying it's a conspiracy, Danny. I'm stooping. I'm stooping low for a second.
Okay.
Draw 4.
I'm sorry. I just heard everyone heard you say it's a conspiracy.
He just threw the wild card down.
Just damn. I will draw 4 gladly on that one. So another thing that it says here in this segment is section Pfizer document 5.3.6, page 12. Safe and effective is what it says. My
man sounds like he's in the Amber Heard trial right now, pulling
out
of Exhibit A and shit.
Out of 7 women that were accidentally pregnated during the vaccine program, out of the outcome, 23 spontaneous abortions, 2 premature with neonatal death, 1 spontaneous abortion with neonatal death, and 1 living baby out of the 27 women. Now, were these women picked? Who the fuck knows? But these are cases that come up to light who are now like, oh, okay, out of these 27 women that were pregnant during the vaccination program, this is what happened to their babies. And earlier on in some of the episodes, I mentioned that it would be about sterilization and certain things like that will prevent either male or female to reproduce.
Listen, I'll be the one to say it. They're not going to say it to you, but I'll say it right here, right now. Shit's going to happen, bro.
I was just going to say,
you know what I mean? It's not, there's not going to be a few thousand people that have some type of side effects.
Yeah,
it's just like anything,
people
bro.
Out of how many people that were pregnant that probably got it. Like, I hate to say it, it does sound fucked up like that, but that's again the few for the many type of thing.
Maybe it was from the vaccination. It does happen. With any vaccination, with any fucking,
and I know people would say
you can go to a regular medical procedure, a surgery, and something can go wrong, and it could affect or change your life moving forward. It could just happen.
100%.
And people,
I don't know why they won't tell you.
Oh, it's easy to say that when it could be somebody like close to you that happens to. You wouldn't say the same thing. I'm sorry, I disagree. I think that Joe's point is 100% right. I totally agree with that.
It's gonna happen, man.
It's gonna happen.
I don't know why they're so afraid to say, "Oh, well, yeah, this was from COVID." Like, they got the shot. It didn't work out right for them, unfortunately.
And some people's body, everybody's body is different. Certain people are allergic to certain things. Again, we're all human. Everybody's body is different. Like you said, sanitary things. One of the needles could have been dirty. It could have been a human error in some of those 27. Whatever. Like, it could be so many different factors.
Again, this goes back on they fucked up. Call it the government, whoever. They just don't know. Again, it's just human error. Sometimes I don't know what to say, and I say the wrong thing, and I look like an idiot. And I go back later. I'm like, damn, why the fuck did I say? No,
well, it's okay because we're specialists in nothing, so we're covered.
All right, so another sentence, real quick. Same page, paragraphs down. It says,
"This is tiring, proving you guys." You know what I mean?
I'm in the middle today. I feel like Switzerland because you kind of pulling me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm like, I gotta go off screen for a second.
I really feel like I'm sitting back and kind of listening to you both today with a little chiming in, but like, I feel like this is more you guys because Joe is making some very strong, valid points today. It's not just like where he's just argumentative with you in the sense of, not saying he's always argumentative, but like where he's just disagreeing with you.
Sometimes
like he has valid.
Doesn't happen.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes he won't necessarily want to back it up and just be like, no, But dude, he's really firing at you today, and he's got some strong points, I have to say.
But Danny's been wanting to talk about this shit for
No, it's fine. As
And
long
I'm
as you
just-
let me
I
state my
hate it.
facts that I have here.
No, I am.
That's true.
And I
We
agree with
continue to
most of
get
your
back and
facts.
forth.
I do. I agree with some of your facts.
So same page, paragraphs down, it says the mandatory Pfizer vaccine was claimed to be 95% effective. It was only 12% effective and only for about a week. And then it dropped down to 1%. And they knew that and they continued to press it on them. They wanted to suppress it for 75 years when everybody who's got this vaccine would have probably already been dead. So I agree with you on that. One more thing.
Come in, Joe,
Okay.
he knows, then this is saying the fact now because of all that information that was now released that they didn't want to release of all the documentation of the medicine that was in it, that all the stuff that side effects, every little piece of everything that was in it. Now that that's all out there, now they can determine that. So that is a fact.
Right before the Pfizer documents came out, Moderna recalled 764,900 COVID due to an after contamination that was found.
So you
So
kind of cut for a
what does that
second.
even
Due to
mean?
after what?
after contamination, so there was something contaminated in that batch that they sent out, and now they're recalling 764,900 shots. Who knows if those went into people or not?
Oh, like if they had already
All right.
Right.
put it into,
Which
yeah,
is
it's like a recall when stuff goes on the shelf on a store. Somebody could have
Yeah.
already bought it and eaten it.
Right.
Again, this
But-
is just the
No, I
government we're
get
talking
it.
about. So it's like, ooh, 750,000 of them. That's a lot. You fucked up. And
I
we're
mean,
going
that
to
is
sit
a lot.
here.
That's a lot of
That's
people.
a
That is
lot.
a big fuck up.
It is a lot, but it's the same thing with cars. They'll sell you
Yeah, but it's
fucking.
different
There's
when you're not-
150,000
Yeah, but you're like,
Toyota
all right, hey,
Capris that got recalled because the airbags are bad.
that's
Yeah, but-
right.
And we're not
That's
going to
right.
know until
But
you
that's a
crash and
safety
die
reason.
because your airbag didn't go
Yeah,
off.
but the difference of
100%.
that is like
So
an
there's the
airbag
same
doesn't
level
necessarily
of
have to
holy
go
shit.
off, whereas like everybody was supposed to get this shot. So,
So
like,
everybody who got the shot now it's like, oh shit, was I part of the recall? They don't
Yeah.
know. You don't
Yeah.
know.
What are you going to do? Cry about it? Get on a podcast?
No,
and fucking-
dude, I just think it's so fucked up.
I mean,
you
if
know
I
what
got
I
a
mean?
recalled
Like-
shot in my arm, I think I'd cry about it a little bit.
I
probably
What are
would.
you gonna do? You're fine, Frank. You're fine.
I am fine. I didn't get vaccinated. I'm
The
good.
worst will happen. You'll have an allergic reaction. Maybe you can't produce anymore. I don't know.
I don't
You're-
need
you're
to
good,
do this
though.
anymore.
You're good, right? You're good either way. Win-win for you, Frank. Win-win for you, buddy.
Oh, that was
That's
good.
it. The government gave Frank a vasectomy. You didn't even know it.
Is that on the list of side effects? I'll get a vaccine.
A vex, yeah. There's just a whole bunch of shit going on, and it's fucked up how people just believe what they say, and then lies come out, and the truth is exposed, and nobody wants to hear it. They're like, no, I don't believe it. I'm like, there's fucking pages and documents about it.
Right, bro. Just move on, Danny. What are you're so stuck on it? Just move on, bro.
I'm stuck on it. What am I stuck on? I'm just letting you know, like, it's fucked up how at one point
We
were
know it's
forced
fucked
to
up.
take
We've
it.
said this years ago. It's fucked up. The government
He's right.
does stupid shit.
He's right. Dwelling on it isn't going to change it.
You know what I mean? We're
I'm
still
not
talking.
gonna keep
We're
thinking
still
about
talking
saying
about.
how
people
fucked up it is.
consistently trust this government, and they're not doing right.
I mean, listen, Danny, I don't trust the government. I still do what I do every day. Like,
Actually-
does it affect me? Yes, it affects me here and there. I
We
finally
actually have an
experienced it, but,
episode
like,
where Joe said he 100% trusts the government. I have that on air. We have that.
why not, man? Tell me what to do. I'll do it.
No, I hear you though. I'm not. I don't think nobody or anybody believes the government 100%. I don't think that everybody believes
I
every
don't even
single
think the
story they hear
government
in their
believes the
life.
government 100%.
Yeah, like I think that everyone knows that to someone. I think it's the things that they believe are the things they're interested in, or the things that like whatever. If you read something that has some part of it where you've heard a little piece of something before that you could relate it to something to where it's like, think about how we've talked about deja vu, right? It's something that's familiar. It's something like whatever. So now you read something and you're like, exactly, it hits that feeling in you and you're like, okay, yeah, I believe this. Like, that's really all it is at the end of the day. It's just who got persuaded to believe what they read on
Right.
what source it was.
I see the same shit you see every day. Guess what? I don't believe it, but you do. So you tell me right there what that's going to do to
It's about
8
perception. But this is
billion
why we'll
other
split
people.
in half, because people want to rely and believe because they think the government has our best interest. When us, like myself,
It's
Or
called
know
wake
that
up
they don't.
come back to
Well,
reality.
there's a lot of people that aren't waking up.
You're an adult for 30-something years on this earth. You should know how to handle these certain things, Daddy.
People don't, unfortunately.
Government's
They
gonna
still
lie to you.
believe-
Let them lie. Don't believe them. Still do what you got to do.
You can't lie and believe you because look what's going on now. There's
I think at
there's
the end of the
concrete
day,
evidence that Joe Biden was swindled this election, and what? Nothing. Instead, we have a Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial case, not Ghislaine Maxwell case. We have any idea what's going on with that?
we've explained this to you. The Ghislaine Maxwell case is a federal trial. It's not
Right,
going to be
you're
on
not
TV
gonna
because
hear
it's a
it.
federal
on trial or
trial.
not? Why are we not getting updates about what's going on?
Because it's a federal trial.
Right. Okay,
You'll
when
hear
she-
about
that's
it when they
always-
decide what happens, and that's
Always.
it. And then
That's
if she
always with
dies or
any
not
federal
in jail,
trial.
and you'll hear about it. Other
People
than
are just
that-
more interested about that because they want to see if anything is going to come out in other people's
right.
names are
Everybody
gonna be
wants to
dropped.
know the dirty secrets, but guess what?
Mhm.
I have
They're not
something
gonna
on
tell
this.
you right
Drama.
away,
You ready?
Drama.
Ghislaine Maxwell was found guilty. This is on May 11th. Ghislaine
Right.
Maxwell was found guilty
I knew
on
that.
sex trafficking of children. A
Yeah.
judge refuses to release the list of who she sold them to.
Right.
Up until the list is released, we
It'll
have
just
one
cause
conclusion.
more problems.
They're all in it. Every last billionaire is involved. Prince and
Yes.
politician.
Probably. Yeah, of course.
But think
This
about
is-
it too.
This came out like a month ago. I read
Well,
this. in the
and not
paper,
even that.
Danny.
In any big major case, in any like cartel takedown, any big organization, any
Right.
big millionaire, something like that, you have to have every single duck in a
We
row,
have-
every nail
we
in
have
place.
we have El
everything.
Chapo in jail right now. Did you hear the full disclosure of all of that case? No.
But
And that's El
aside from-
Chapo. We have the biggest drug dealer in
aside
the
from not
world
hearing
in
about it,
fucking
though,
U.S. prisons.
Every fact of that case before they are presented, before they arrest him, her, whoever it is, has to be point in aligned perfectly, because if there's any one detail out, that person is not going to end up getting locked up or get whatever. So that list, you expose it, guess what? All those people know who's on the list. Everybody knows who's on the
gonna
list.
fuck the whole case.
Anybody
Never
can
put
take
that
them
girl
off. Anybody
away.
can anything. Now they're deleting files, doing whatever they can to cover their tracks, everything they can to not get found out.
Listen, he
There's
was
so
guilty.
many
He was
things that can go
guilty.
wrong.
She's guilty. All those fucking billionaires, the prince, whatever his name is, he's
You're
guilty.
going to see a lot of arrests in the next 10 to 20 years, but you
It'll
won't see
come-
them all
it'll-
this year.
Right. You'll
You know what I
hear
mean?
about it a month or so later. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
And it'll all
fucking
be
hope
like,
so.
it'll all be related. Like maybe 10 years from now, you might be like, these 5 people were all just arrested, blah, blah, blah. These billionaires, blah, 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 due to the Ghislaine Maxwell trial, blah, blah, blah. Sources found out that it could come out that way, but it's not going to be like now, because in something that big, especially when it comes to sex trafficking, they're going to make sure they have every duck in a row before they arrest.
They might
anybody
be able
like
to
that.
get. They might be able to take down something bigger than this.
Mhm.
And if they just start releasing, day by day of what's going on with the case, they'll
Mhm.
never solve it. The whole point is to stop it from happening completely altogether.
Even detectives in a precinct don't share all the information in their case when it's an open case with other
With
people
other-
in the
with other
precinct that aren't
cops.
involved with their case.
And I know
that's
that
how
for a
crucial
fact,
things are.
because I've been
So-
inside that room.
That's how crucial things are. So on a federal level, on something that important, there's no way anybody's going to hear anything. There's no way. Everything is locked down tight, guarded.
But I feel you, Danny. I feel
Yeah, I get the wanting to know.
and you thinking it's a conspiracy because they're not telling you, but there's just rules behind that shit.
And we don't understand that because we're not in that position.
We're not cops, we're not detectives, we're not,
Or not even, you're not a politician, you're not people that handle those judgments all the time. Like think about it. If you were someone that's in that position, and even as someone that comes in later, like you could be someone that's a young kid now that's being groomed to be in that, right? But these other people that have been in history that have made these decisions can tell you in history, oh, we've done this before and this caused a panic. We've done this. Trial and error has showed us that this does this, this does this, this
Right.
does this. And it's always passed down. Just like anything else. You go to the restaurant business, you're a chef, you're a cook. Oh, the chef over you teaches you all his tricks and this, blah, 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 that he learned from the chef before him, and so on and so on. It's the same thing, just like with any other job. So politics ain't no different. It's all trial and error stuff that they learn, that what causes a panic, what doesn't. And nowadays we look at it, it's like, oh, it's a conspiracy, this, that. But I agree with Joe to the sense that some of it is just human error. Some of it I do think is conspiracy related, and I do think that there are conspiracies out there that we don't know about. But I don't think on this sense to like everything that it's like every, like exactly to the point of every single thing has to be COVID related conspiracy. Like
I'm not saying everything has to be COVID related. I'm just saying it's all connected one way or another. Because now you get Pfizer, who's done this vaccine, and then all of a sudden Pfizer came out with an alopecia drug. And what happened? Jada Pinkett Smith got a joke made about her. Will Smith came up, slapped Chris Rock. And now Pfizer.
But that's not a result of the government.
Hold
That
on,
didn't happen because
hold on. I didn't say it happened because of the government. It just so happened that now Pfizer came out with an alopecia drug. And what does Jada Pinkett Smith have? Alopecia. Now everyone's focused on this Will Smith, Chris Rock slap. And at the same time, their stock is going up. Same thing with Bill Gates. Bill Gates is a large investment in Pfizer. Bill Gates is the largest investor.
Danny, that's simply called
in
money.
vaccines
Money
in the
moves,
pandemic.
man.
Hear me out.
Cardi B said it.
Right, but it all just
Making
so
money
coincidental.
moves.
Bill Gates is also the largest owner of land in America, and there's a food crisis, right? He's also the largest investor in a lab growing baby milk, and there's a baby formula
Danny,
crisis.
Not everybody's like you. Not
Can I-
everybody that
can I-
has millions of dollars would want
Can I
to
say
give half
something
of it
real
away,
quick?
bro.
Can I say
Right, but
something
you're
real quick?
investing in these things that are coincidentally now the American people are struggling with. So he's making money off of our struggles.
Can I say one thing now? You done?
Yeah, go for it.
It's about popularity, and it comes down to money. It's like, okay,
Because
the
they'll
whole
let
the
each
whole,
other hands in the pockets.
The whole
Mhm.
Will Smith thing. She gets slapped. The whole joke on, oh, all of a sudden we have an alopecia thing, right? That's what you're saying. It's just weird how that happened. It's like us. It's like something happens that's big, and we got to talk about it and post about it.
But hear me out.
Because we want our stock to go up. We want people to hear us and listen to us.
Which
so
is
it's like
true.
that. It's just a strategy,
Marketing.
bro. It's marketing.
Right.
Yeah,
But
it comes at the wrong time, and it's kind of shitty. But
Or the right time for them, because while everyone's
Right,
talking
it's
about
just
Will
a-
Smith and Chris Rock's slap,
why
these
not?
Pfizer documents came out, and nobody gives a shit about that because they're all concerned about Will Smith and Chris Rock.
Hey, maybe that was done on purpose. But
Pfizer says don't breastfeed. Baby formula is bad for you, and now it's running scarce. And now Bill Gates promoting this artificial breast milk, all within 2 weeks of each other. I'm sure it was planned.
I'm sure
See,
it was planned.
I
But,
think
what-
to your-
but what makes that wrong? What's wrong about that?
It's
Explain
just
to me
too
why that bothers
coincidental
you.
because it's like
Well,
But
I get
it's
the
not
point of
a
where how it
coincidence.
bothers
Wait,
him. Like
it's
he
not
says,
a
it's
making
not that it
money off
bothers
of.
me. Hold on, it's not that it bothers me. It's just a distraction from what's really going on.
Right,
Well,
but
no, you said that it did
that's
bother
done
you
on
that-
purpose, obviously. But why?
Well,
what
you said for, like-
bothers you about that?
You said for Bill Gates that it bothers you that he's making money off of other people suffering in America and stuff like that. But
When he's claiming to be helping us, that's
yeah,
the
but
difference.
that everygoing to claim to be better than they are because
Right,
they want to
but
look better
he
than they
can
are for
still
their public
claim to
image,
help
especially as a public.
America and make money doing it.
which
But
is exactly
what's
why
wrong-
COVID happened. Yeah.
What's wrong with doing what? What do you mean? That's why COVID happened.
How many people got rich throughout COVID?
yeah, but see, that's
Right, but
exactly
not-
you're making
dude.
it that way. That could be two separate things. COVID could happen and people could see an opportunity in a bad time to make money and market on that and bank on it. That makes them a terrible person. It doesn't
Right,
make
again,
them
Not wrong.
human
responsible.
error. People are
So,
fucked up out there, bro.
There
It
and there
doesn't
are plenty
matter.
of, and that's what I
Right.
was just gonna say about Bill Gates. So to your point about Bill Gates,
The world could be burning down. People are going to be handing out T-shirts.
he could
somewhere on
not give a
corner,
fuck
like-
about certain people because he only cares about his money. We've talked about before that like when you have power and money, the only thing that matters is you don't want to lose it. Perfect example. My 65-inch TV just broke the other day, and I had to bring the 42-inch from downstairs, the old one. And I'm telling Karen, I'm like, we have to get a new TV. And she's like, no, we don't. We have this one. You sound privileged right now. And I'm like, yeah, but going from a 60-inch back down to a 40 sucks. Like
Mhm.
when you're used to having something and you
It's
have to go
just-
back down to
right.
less.
We
you don't
do it
want
every day.
So
like
he's
Frank
gonna
with his
always
TV.
take every advantage of any shitty situation that he sees of money's dollar sign or whatever. Of course he's gonna do it. He's already a billionaire, dude. He's trying to stay there. That's
Also,
any
You're
billionaire.
you're making it like they're doing these things secretly, which
yeah, or that they're doing these
maybe
things
they are, but,
maliciously
like-
to these people on purpose. He's doing this, and yeah, it may affect those people.
that's just
but
how.
That's the food chain, bro. That's some people are lions
That's
and
the
some people
game
are
with
gazelles.
everything. That's
Okay,
just
so
how
now
that
you bring this
works.
up. Can I just ask you, what based on what you just said, Frank? It's about supply and demand. So now we need baby formula, right? It's not shipping to America,
Mhm.
but there's stockpiles at the border that they're giving away to immigrants who want to come into the country. How is that okay?
It's not okay.
It does.
And Biden's just letting that happen. So this is what I'm saying.
He's a jerk off.
Yeah, no, none of
like
us
it's
say
not
that
nothing.
he's good
There's
or
nothing
anything
we
like
could do about it. You know,
But
Vote for
exactly,
someone
what are
else
you
the next
gonna do
election.
about it?
Nothing.
No, and not even necessarily nothing. Some people could do something.
Some
About it. You could
people
be someone that
can.
starts a
Some
movement. You
people
could have a
can.
solution. You could do, but unless you're actually going to
Who's
do
telling
something
the
about
president what to
it,
do?
what do you like?
Who's going to tell him what to do?
Why
What
is
he's
it-
going to say?
Well, everyone who controls the president doesn't know what he's doing. He literally reads from a script. and he can't
He
even
can't
get that
even
right.
read from the script. They point, tell him where to go, and he
can't
still walks the
even-
wrong
yeah,
way.
and he walks the other.
Shaking hands
That
with
was the
air and
best
shit. This guy's a
clip
fucking
ever.
retard.
He's
No.
like, hey, right this way.
Go this way.
He
No,
come
Joe.
fucking
This way,
straight.
Joe. This way, Joe.
I'm confused. I don't know which way you want me to go. I'm gonna go that way.
He's a puppet.
So this way? Oh.
So now here's
Secret?
another thing, just to because I brought up his name, but he wants to start this Ministry of Truth thing. Have you heard about this?
No.
I don't know
So-
what part of the dark internet you're getting this shit from, but
Biden's Ministry of Truth director says she wants verified people like her to only
Ministry
be able
of
to edit
Truth.
people's tweets so they can add context to certain tweets. Meaning if they don't like what you say, they're going to make it the correct way for them and how it's going to come off.
Wow.
They're not going to let you. There's not free speech. That's this whole thing with
Yeah,
Elon Musk
that's-
and Twitter going on.
I don't
Elon
think
Musk
that's
wants
gonna
them to-
ever happen. But that is crazy.
Well, no, I
And
did read the Elon Musk thing. That there's been a lot of stuff going on with him and Twitter recently because there's been a lot of different ads on Robinhood about him.
I don't know. I just feel like there's so much shit going on and we're not told about any of it. And then when we are told, it's too late.
Always.
And this has happened with the government so many times where there's a Tuskegee experiment that happened in the 60s where they injected people with hepatitis B and didn't tell them that. And it was an experiment they were unaware of.
right, they
And
do
now
fucked up
people are
shit,
just
bro.
walking to CVS to get a vaccination.
Let me ask
which
you a
is
question,
crazy.
D. If you were a super smart
And you're
genius-
moving all the way to Florida just so you don't have to get the. You know what I mean?
Wait,
It's just
if
it's
you were-
ridiculous either way you look at it, bro.
if you were a super smart genius, right, and you could come up with some formula and you thought that you had found like a cure to cancer or a cure to something like that, and you weren't 100% sure if it was effective yet, but you wanted to try it and you wanted to see because you wanted to help people. But then when you tried it, it ended up killing people.
Say this again.
Like, what if you were trying to do something good? You wanted to help make something like a serum, a antidote, or something to help some kind of sickness, like using cancer as an example. And you were in the stage where you needed to try it now, and you were to go to try it on people, and you were hoping that it was gonna, solve cancer or whatever. And the first 100 people that you tested, you lost like 75% of them. And all these people came out on a conspiracy now and saying that it was a whole same thing like how you say, like, oh, it's a
If it were
conspiracy, it's gonna-
me, I would
you were the
say,
person
I need
that-
you to volunteer for this experiment.
Okay, but they do that. It's always volunteers, number one.
Not for the vaccine.
No. When it came out, yes. When they were testing it and it was whatever, and they were going through all the stages of finding out what vaccine was going to be before they said Pfizer. When Pfizer was in the lab working on it, the people that those were volunteers that tried it, that they had to get their research and records from and like all that stuff, how they got their stuff to say we're 95% effective, we're 12% of whatever it really was, and blah, blah. For them to know any of that stuff, they still had to have testing done on animals to humans, whatever. If you were in those stages and you were a scientist, but now you really were trying to do good in the world, but you fucked up. Like you fucked up on the formula and it caused a lot of people to get hurt or die or whatever. And now all these people are coming at you. Like, how are you going to make these people
I'm going to
believe
get
you?
sued and I'm going to tell the
No,
truth.
no.
Like, listen, I had.
No, how are you going to make these people believe you? How are you going to make the yous of the world out there believe that it's not a
If I
conspiracy
was
theory and that you were
genuinely
trying to do good?
to help the people, I would release all of my documents, all of my scientific shit, and
But what if it
everything
doesn't show that?
behind
Like,
it.
what if
It
your
would have
documents
to.
only show what you ended up making, and it only is going to make you look worse? And you know that the public doesn't know that, and they want to see your documents, but you know that it's going to make you look worse if you release it, and you don't want to look worse because you were really trying to do something good, but you just fucked up on.
Then
human
that
error.
would just seem shady. Because if it was legit,
It
then
would
you wouldn't
seem
have
shady,
to-
but is it shady?
if it seems shady, then maybe, yeah. But what I'm saying is, you have to have
You're missing
all
what
the
I'm saying.
documents. No, I get what you're saying. I'm confused on where you're coming from because it's like
Things
you're not
always
giving me a
seem
way
shady,
out.
but they're not always as they seem.
Things
Like, so
don't
something
always
could seem shady, and it doesn't necessarily has to be as it seems.
Okay, that's true. But how could so much seem shady, but it's okay? If you're saying that like all this sounds shady and there's no way that you could prove that this
Things don't have to
documents-
be okay to be, I don't even want to say accepted, but like you could still go on with your life without having to accept it and it not being okay.
Yep, thank you,
Like
Frank.
that, like to Joe's point, it doesn't necessarily really affect us. Like
said
any
that
of the stuff
really
we've
good.
talked about today,
Not as
Has it
individuals.
really? Well, for you
Not as
personally, yeah,
individuals.
because with EMT and
Right,
stuff,
but
maybe.
I also
But-
wanted to mention this before. You do have a personal bone to pick because of,
Yeah.
you know,
So-
you were an EMT, so like this
Right.
is really
So that
affecting
is
you.
different.
Like it didn't affect me in my job big time. You know what I mean? It did affect me. Listen, I can't go and say it's never affected me. It has in a lot of different ways, but in ways that didn't really turn my life around. You know what I mean? For you, when it comes
Right.
to your life, your
Us three
career.
specifically, no. But other people in America, yeah. Real
Yeah.
bad.
And do
So
I
how
feel
could you just
bad?
sit there?
Absolutely. Right. But what, like,
But
think
nothing
about
is
it.
going to change.
I'm
if
not going to go
you don't
march in
change
the
the way we
street.
think.
I'm not going down to DC to fucking picket line in front of them. I'm not writing letters to the government. You know what I mean? Like, what is it that you want to do that's going to help change? That you're
That's what I was
so
going to say. What do
strongly.
you want? What do you think people can
You know what I
do
mean?
to change it?
Right.
Is there really something that people
I'm not saying
like
we can't
protesting is so
do-
big? What are people really going to
Right.
do to change these things besides making the best of it, trying to figure out how they can personally in their own situation get through it? There's really nothing else you can do.
They can expose
Make the best
what's
of a
really
worse
going
situation
on.
or of a
All
bad
right.
situation.
Do you have something right now? So is this your way of exposing it through our channel right now? And I'm not
This is
saying
the
that in a
only way
bad
that I
way.
have. This is the only outlet that I do have. Whatever information
And
I
do
know,
you-
I'm aware
Do
of.
you think
I'm
anything you say on here
willingly-
is really changing people's minds to act on like your
over our past 70 something episodes? I really do hope that we have one listener who listens to all of them and they're like, wow, this kid knows what he's talking about.
Well, when he says it like that, I do
One
think
out of
Danny has
15,000 would be
believers.
great.
When he says it like that over all 70 something episodes, I do think Danny has believers. But in this
I'm
particular
sure.
episode, I do think Joe kind of shut you down today. I do.
It's
I
not
do
even-
think-
it's not- it's not
I'm just
even-
being a dick.
It's
I'm just
not
being a
even
dick.
about shutting him down. I'm
No, I
not
know.
shutting him down.
I'm glad
just-
Joe has something to say about this.
No,
I'm just again, I'm not. This is not one of those situations where Danny's like, "Yeah, the moon's hollow and there's aliens living on it." That I'm shutting you down completely.
Okay, I got another
Right
one
there,
for you.
done. No,
they
But-
said that the
but
Jada
this
Smith.
shit, this shit is not something that I'm shutting down. It's just there's a little bit more facts to it. There's shit that you're 100% right about, but the way you want to go about it is like, to me, is like, you know, okay, you're a little crazy about that, and you just need to.
But all right. so
You
let me
know,
ask
a lot of
but
people
why-
are making on, you know, going on about it, and things are getting back. Like, we
But
all
what
said,
is
but
crazy about it? Is it the fact that I'm stating things that people haven't heard of before, and it's
There's a
just
bunch of things
because
that
you
I
don't know,
wanna
you
say
don't want to hear it?
because You just made me aware that I shouldn't be saying certain things, so I can't really. There's a lot of things you're doing that I'm just like,
Dude.
what, you're like making these huge lifestyle changes, and you're not doing certain things because you're so offended that the government's lying to you and that they
It's not
want
about
you to
being
get a
offended.
shot. And it's like you're literally going to rewire your whole life because you have a salty feeling towards the government and what they're doing right now. When meanwhile, it'll all go away anyway.
You
Things might
think
be a
so?
little different. Yeah, I do think so.
Yeah, all right,
I
a
know
little
so.
different here, a little different there. Let's just say from
Bro, we've
1940,
had
the
a
government
bunch
has been
of
doing
fucking
things,
shit
and
happen
every
like this
decade it's
in
been
our-
getting a little different, a little different, a little different, a little different.
Right.
Now we're going to be in 2020, 2030.
Yeah, but Danny, do you
Things
think
are gonna be a
you think
lot-
the government's going to be the same way it was back in the 80s and 90s? I feel like sometimes you're stuck so far in the past and you want everything to be like it was back then when things were fucking nobody gave a shit about it, and I so
know.
badly wish it would be.
Well, it's
too.
like when people
But
say
it's
things
not, bro.
like it's the Constitution. You
things are
can't
going
change
world,
that.
The world develops. Everything's going to
Yeah.
change, bro.
It's just like how
I
when people
get
say like,
that,
"What do you
but-
mean? That's the Constitution. You can't." Yeah, you could change it. Absolutely. These fucking men made it what they thought it would be great.
Right.
That doesn't mean that
that doesn't
they were
mean
correct.
it's
Yeah, it doesn't-
done
it-
forever.
Things could always be changed.
We want it to be like that because we've been taught it for 50
Well, and not
plus
even that.
years.
People
dude,
don't
it's
like change
gonna-
as a whole.
No,
Nobody
people
I don't
likes
care
like
who
change.
you are.
I get it
Anybody-
that
no
the
one
government-
doesn't
And
like
I'm
changes
one-
from comfort.
America will change.
I'm
But
one that hates change. I hate change. I'll eat the
Everyone
same
hates
thing
change.
every
Even
day.
if they say they like change,
I'll
they
do
hate
the
change.
same shit every day and be exact and happy. Exactly.
There's a
the way it
comfort
is.
in things being the same, and everyone
right,
likes
but
comfort.
change shouldn't come with a whole new set of
No,
rules
it
or a whole
shouldn't.
new-
But there's
Wait,
a
wait.
whole new
Says who?
experience. Right? Yeah. Says who?
Says who? Why
Says the
can't
life
change
we're
come with a whole
living.
new set of rules? If
Let's
the old
say-
rules aren't working,
Says who?
who's to
Why-
say that we can't
if
change
it's
a set
not
of rules?
broken,
Why?
don't fix it. If it's
Huh?
not broken, don't fix it.
Who
What's
says it's
wrong?
not
Bro,
broken?
at your
Who says-
job, I got something for you right now. Small, little kind of relevance. Your job does good. They're successful. They're awesome. They're making all these changes to the menu, adding a fucking tiki bar in the back. Why change? Everything was so good, so perfect. Why are you going to change?
Perfect
you
example
have to-
too. Inventions.
Here we go. Let me answer that first.
no, but
you
to
have to
piggyback-
adapt. COVID
Maybe
happened.
that was a bad, but that's the
No,
first
you
thing I
have
can
to
think
adapt. COVID happened. It was
Right,
either
you got
sink
it.
or swim. So
He
you
just
got to
said
swim.
it. He just
I
said
get it.
You got to
You gotta
adapt.
adapt. Not
But-
even that.
But
how about
think about it like
inventions?
this? COVID happened. Everything changed. Whether
No.
we
Right,
want it
that's
or
a
not.
big
Something's not broken,
thing.
don't
Right,
fix
and I'm
it.
saying
You can
that
make
to
something that's not
you
broken
break
better.
something, so you have to fix it. That's
No,
what had happened.
Not even. You can make something that's not broken better. There's people that come out with inventions. There was already a can opener. Someone came out with a better one. There was already a bottle opener. Someone came out with a better one. We
I
already know
agree
how to
with you.
shotgun beers. Now
But
there's
look
the
at
beer
where
stick.
we were. Look at where we were before COVID, and look at where we are
Bro,
now after COVID.
Just
Our-
because you're not familiar with what the change that's
our
happening
daily
doesn't
I
mean
just
that it's
see this
bad.
going in a bad
Our
direction.
daily hygiene routine was horrible. Think about it. Let me tell you. Think about it.
Wait, hold on. Cut him off.
Because we just talked about this at my job the other day. Nobody gave a shit for all these years. Kids are rubbing their hands and face on the wall, laying on the floor, playing with each other. Nobody gave a shit.
And that's been going on for how many years?
right. And there was never a problem.
Right.
But think about it now. Like, open your eyes. Now our eyes are opened a little. Whether COVID was on purpose or not, we're taking all these extra precautions on staying clean and being healthy. We opened our eyes a little bit. Now we're looking, we're like, wow, maybe letting my kid lick the fucking floor while playing with his sister while he's in the store waiting for me was not really such a good idea. Even though he wasn't getting sick, that's kind of gross. Because now we're opening our eyes a little bit. It's like, wow, I peed 10 times today and not once did I wash my hands out of the bathroom. That's kind of shitty.
Yeah.
So if anything,
I'll agree with you on that.
we're changing, you know
Our
what I mean?
hygiene. Yes. But now
And
here's
not just
another
hygiene,
thing.
this goes for a lot of other things. That's just my one good example.
I have a small
now.
thing to say on what you're saying. I agree with you on that. Yes.
Wow.
But our immune system is built on defense. So when we come in contact with something that our body's not used to, our body attaches to it, clones it, and builds an immunity to it. So that's why
Not
it was okay
everybody,
to,
not
yes,
everybody.
That's the human body.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
the human
that's-
body.
I know, but not everybody's human body. Like, okay, for
You're right. Not
example,
everybody has a human body.
No, not
No,
every
Danny.
immune system is as strong as
Right,
everyone
you know what I'm
else's.
saying?
I
Like-
get,
Right,
what
I
his
get,
point is
which
gonna
is
be.
where I'm going
mine
with
might be
this.
good, but
This is where I'm
fucking-
going with this. But as a kid, when we were younger in the 90s, if we were licking the fucking railing or putting our hands here and then in our mouth or eating dirt,
Right?
we didn't die from it, but we built an immunity to it. So now we're not getting sick from that anymore. Now with everyone washing,
But
and
bro,
cleaning- hold on,
hundreds of
hold on.
thousands of kids weren't dying from licking the railing.
Right,
COVID
so
happened,
wait,
hundreds of
he's
thousands of
saying
people
we're
were
breaking
dying.
down our own
Myocarditis.
body's immune systems by
The
by
vaccine.
crutching it all the time now. Is that's what he's saying? You're
You
good.
got
Your body's
one
not going to be able
shot.
to
What do you
fight
mean
off as much
crushing
stuff.
it all the time. People go get fucking
No, people
flu
didn't get one
shots
shot. People got
every
3
year.
shots.
All right,
You didn't get one
some
shot. You got
people
3.
got 3 shots, right? Whatever. It doesn't matter. People get fucking vaccine when you're born. Most kids get
Because there's been
vaccine with
research and
3
development on
different
it for over
shots.
40 years. This is going on almost 2 years now.
Right,
No.
Danny,
The
but
side
it's
effects.
got to
COVID has
start
been researched more than 2
somewhere,
years,
and it
dude. It
has been
was-
Yes,
researched
but the
forever.
vaccine hasn't.
It doesn't mean
I'm sure it was just not in a rush of where it was now
right. And
because
again,
they didn't need it to be.
So
I'm
they
sure if
had
it
an,
was.
they
You're
had
freak-
an experimental COVID vaccine before COVID happened, just in case COVID happens.
Yeah, if it was a disease that was out there and known, you
Right,
don't have to
it
know.
wasn't COVID
Again, just
specifically,
because it
but-
wasn't pushed in your face and it wasn't like in the news or somewhere that you could research, it doesn't mean that there wasn't a scientist out there
there's
that didn't know what
probably
it was and that
10
it wasn't
things.
being studied because it was on Lysol cans before it was a thing. So obviously some scientists out there was working on
There's
it and knew about it.
probably 10 big things that could happen in our life, whether it's a disease, a fucking national disaster that we probably know
Catastrophic
about,
event, yeah.
that we plan for and study for right now that we have no idea about because
So then
it's
why is
not
it-
even a thought of it happening until it actually happens, Danny.
Okay, but then why is it a thing where not COVID-19, but COVID is the common flu? It says it in medical books that were printed years ago. It says
Wait, what?
COVID.
Right,
Common
because we probably knew of a thing called COVID that wasn't, bro. It's
Well,
just
and
like
there was
any-
different
No, I
variants,
get it.
just like any other flu. It was like
Right.
something
That's
that
fine, but
evolved.
why
So
is
the
there
one
Danny-
before could have been lesser than this more evolved new 19.
I say this to be funny, but grow up, bro. You're trying to literally pick at this so much and come up with like the tiniest little butt, like these little butts, and you're trying to like downsize it.
I like big butts.
I know you like big butts.
I
Don't
cannot
lie.
lie.
I had a point before, but I forgot what I was going to
I
say.
feel like people that do this with this whole COVID thing and try to dissect it so much to where you're at the point to where you've talked about so much that you almost have to say, oh, well, maybe. It's just like, dude.
Maybe I'm at that point. I don't know. I'm
Get
just sick of it. And I'm
over
just
it.
so against it.
And I
that
know
it-
you are, and I'm sick of it too. But like to try to make a conspiracy out of it is like so bizarre. It's
I
so
don't think
bizarre.
it's
I
that
think there
bizarre.
are
I think-
conspiracies within COVID. I don't think the whole thing is a conspiracy.
It's
I do think
so-
like how like the Dr. Fauci and this and that. I do think that there was him like, oh, I could do this.
I
and we could end
feel-
up making more money. Let me send this
But there's
email.
so many.
instead
I
of
feel like
saying-
you
politicians and
told
doctors
your-
who
you
are
told-
getting
wrong
paid from all this
decisions.
stuff for producing the wrong information.
You
So
just,
See,
they'll
that's what I'm
just
saying
tell
is-
you whatever they have because
But,
they're getting paid.
that's what I was gonna say is there are bad people out there that care about the money that will make a bad decision, but that doesn't make the conspiracy to what you're talking about. Like they're two different levels that
That's
to
fine.
that thing someone has to have
That's
that
fine.
intent of, and I don't think that this was that. I think that this was more panic, human error,
Yes.
not being ready, and all of that stuff.
You say without intent. You said with or without intent.
Without
Okay, so now here I am saying I think it did happen with intent because I can tell you what's going to happen in the next 10 years based on the government's agenda. And you're
Okay.
like, no, you're crazy. And I'm like, no, I've seen things, I've researched things, and I have an idea of where it's going to go.
I think
That's
a lot
why
of
I
people will
feel
be
so
more
strongly
sick in
about
the
it.
next 10 years.
You
100%.
call it a conspiracy. I'm saying this is where it could go. And now this is 2 years into it. Let's see what happens 6 or 8 years into it. When I'm like, all right, remember when I said this? Remember when I said that?
Well, I definitely
so
think that
conspiracy
to
anymore.
that point, there's going to be a lot more like the dementia thing. I believe in that whole thing. Like I think there's going
Kids
to
are
be a lot
having
more
heart
people.
attacks under 13 years old.
And I'm not saying dementia. I'm just using that as an example because that's what I read. But I do think like 10 years from now, there'll be a rise in a lot of different numbers because we didn't necessarily know the long-term effects of this vaccine 100% because we needed it in an important rush.
Right.
I
Right.
do think
I
that
agree also.
there's going to be a lot of like, did you take this 20 years ago? You could get compensation. Blah, blah. I
It's
think
going to be
gonna
the
a lot of
new
that.
mesothelioma, bro.
Because
I think
all
that there's
three
gonna be a lot of
experimental
people-
vaccines said that you cannot sue them. God forbid anything goes wrong. They cover
I think
their
there's going to be a
asses.
lot of more people that have more allergies, breathing problems. Like I think there's going to be a spike in a lot of things in the future. I think a lot of people's immune systems are going to be broken down.
So
Not
it brings
necessarily
up
just because of the
dementia.
vaccine.
You wait and see
but
how
because
many
the
other
mask
shit's
thing.
gonna come up to it.
All
Like,
right,
the
and you know
mask thing
what?
to me,
If it
like, a
does
lot of-
turn out that this is causing
Frank, I hear
dementia
you.
more, me personally, what am I gonna do? I already got it. I'm not gonna sit here and
So,
worry.
But that's
And I'm not
you
gonna-
do
I'm
know
not
that
gonna-
different people.
I'm not gonna try to voice my opinion to the world. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna worry about myself. Try to make sure that I can do whatever I can moving forward to avoid it happening further on in my life, and that's it. What are
And
you gonna
listen to
do?
Danny say, I told you
Dementia.
so.
And then and then have Danny call me and say, Joe, I fucking told you so. And I'm gonna be like, all right, at least aliens didn't come down and fucking tell me they're gonna wipe me out.
Yet.
Yeah.
They
He's like,
wouldn't
that's
wipe you
next.
I do think they're gonna stage some type of fake alien attack, but whatever.
Oh,
Frank, what were you saying about these masks?
No, well, I was just saying like
Because
with the
that's
whole
bringing up a
breakdown
point that
stuff,
I wanted to say.
that's what I was saying. Like people's immunities breaking down. I don't think even that was necessarily going to be about the vaccine, but the fact that they made us wear masks for the year or 2 years and everything, breathing in our own carbon dioxide. I feel now in this last year, like before COVID, I was someone that was always like, I never get sick. And if I ever did get sick, I never really took medicine. The next day I was always fine. Like I never
Just
took
run a
cold and flu
course.
medicine. Like, yeah, I would always feel like
same. I never
whatever.
go to the doctor.
Now, when I get sick, I feel like I'm sick for like 2-3 days. Like when I got sick like a couple months ago, like I was fucking.
Well, 2-3
hurting
days
for, like,
is a normal sick.
What I'm saying, like
time.
I feel
That
like it was
sounds like a
rather than a
reasonable
24
Like who
hour,
gets
I'm
sick for
saying.
24 hours unless you got a virus and you shit in your pants?
No, but that's
a
what I'm saying. Like
virus.
comparing it to that. If I'm used to this, I'm saying
You take
it
a
was
Z-Pack
longer.
for 10 days.
It was
Take a
longer
Z-Pack.
than what I'm used to, is what I'm saying. So I do feel like, yeah, because I wore the mask for so long, it's that my body might not be able to fight off
Compromise, you're
as
saying?
as much now because it's weaker because it was breathing in carbon dioxide for so long because they fucking made me do it. Like I do see that as a thing. Like I do think, I know I'm gonna say it wrong, Thanos was a big influence. Because I think that
Yo,
that
straight
molded
up,
people to be
the
okay
government saw the
with
Avengers,
half of the people
They
fucking.
saw Thanos snap and they were like, that's what we got to do.
They
That's
were
what we
like,
got to do.
that's what we want to do.
How
And
Who
then
created a snap?
COVID-19 happened. Like
Yeah,
that
right
was the
after.
snap. I just-
I'm sorry to cut you off. Were you
No,
done or
no,
you had
I'm
something
done.
else to say?
No, I was
So,
done.
all right. So let me ask you, do you think, both of you, do you think that these masks worked?
No.
No, I don't think
Okay.
it worked.
All right.
I
think
think,
it
I
was
think
just-
that
I
was
think-
a financial.
I think it was
Okay.
Okay, I think it was two things, 100%. I think it was a precautionary thing. I thought, listen, we go to work, doctors wear them in fucking surgery rooms. We wear them in construction sites to keep this out. We wear
For
masks
debris or for shit to
for
splatter
a
up.
lot of things to keep out of our, from getting into our system. So I think it was a precautionary thing.
Okay, I'll agree.
For wearing them every day for so many hours. After touching shit, then you put your mask on. Now it's stuck inside your mask. You're breathing all that shit in. I don't think we really thought it through. And then when they seen, holy shit, look at the money coming in from this, then it was like, yes, okay, this is going to be a money thing until we figure out if you really need it or not. We're going to make a buck.
I agree with him, but the only point I think was different was I think they knew the money was going to come in before that. Also,
Probably,
I think that Fauci was like, oh my God, we could tell people they have to wear these masks and start making mad money on all these. Like, I do think that someone
don't
saw
think
dollar
money
signs and
was
made
the
them.
first thing that popped up because.
Well, no, I do think you're right with the
Again,
precautionary thing too.
It was a precautionary thing at first.
But I do think it was a little bit of both. I do think he was like, hey, this could maybe help us a little bit, but we could also benefit from it financially.
Course, bro,
like, I
because
do think that was
everything's
probably the
about
pitch.
money. That's why we do what we do every day. You go to
100%.
work because you want to make money. This guy's at work. This is his job,
Well,
man.
Hey,
he's got to make money.
At the end of the day, money
don't
is
care.
important too. If you're putting things in perspective of prioritizing to importance, right? Money has to be on that list at some point. So yeah, you may say like, oh no, the lives and the this and that, blah, blah, blah matter more than anything. Okay, but if they're there and we don't have anything to support them with, then what's the point of them being there for suffering and for not? So at some point, it does have to have a balance. There is always a balance.
This strategy comes in so many other scenarios. Like even another simple one, like when a popular movie comes out, The Avengers. Damn well a week before or a day or two after the movie comes out, whatever brand of toys that's making Avengers is going to drop their shit right before that fucking movie comes out, because that's when it's going to sell the most. It's a strategy. It's just the money. Now, when you do it in that sense, it's not a bad thing. It's like, oh, well, you should have dropped them a month ago. I would have spent my money on it. But now when it's something that people's lives are in stake, you know what I mean? Everybody looks at it as like, oh, that's a bad decision. That was a bad judgment call. How are you going to try to make money when people are dying? And it's like, they're the government. We're in debt. America's in debt by so much.
But we're giving $40 billion to Ukraine.
Right. That's another fucking crazy thing to get into. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a normal business strategy.
I get what you're saying.
And it was maybe used in the wrong moment, but that's it's normal.
I get it. So now let me ask you, compared to the what are they called? Paper masks or whatever? What are we using? Do you know what this is made out of? No, not the 95s, the regular surgical masks.
Oh, okay.
Those don't work as good as the N95s, but the N95s don't work as good as respirators. Respirators work the best, right? So now they have everyone. Well, you have everyone walking around with a regular mask, and we know now that it's not effective. So now there's a couple counties in states that are trying to mandate this mask again. What if
it costs us more money to have that many respirators over masks? Like, it would cost more.
They'd be making more based on the price, but regardless of it, yes, you're right, 100%. But if everybody gets one respirator, that's all you need. You just change the cartridge out instead of buying packs of 10 masks for $10. Whatever the case is, if where we live, they tried to instate another mask mandate, would you or would you not follow?
I didn't follow the first one.
Right, Danny, I'm gonna walk into the store with my mask on.
No, I'm just curious.
Feel it out and pull it off, take it down.
Like,
like, I don't give a shit. They can mandate it all they want. Like, I've experienced it in the full blown circle of COVID. It doesn't matter if it was ShopRite or all these big places. You know what I mean? You're gonna wear your mask in it. People are gonna have their mask down. People ain't gonna wear it. It's gonna just what it is, bro. I'm not gonna get arrested for walking in the shop right without my mask. The most that's gonna happen, they're gonna tell me to put it up. I'll put it up when I get down aisle 3 and 4 to look at my cereal and my snacks. I'm gonna pull it fucking down.
Same thing.
I'm not gonna sit back and be like, oh, how could they? And oh, I'm not wearing it. And oh, I'm gonna move to a different state. And oh, you know what I mean? I can't do this job no more. Like, if I have to go to work and wear my mask for another few months, guess what? I need money. I'm going to suck it up. I'm going to go to work, put my fucking mask on for a couple of hours, pull it down when I need, and I'm going to go about my day. And I'm going to come home and throw that goddamn thing in the garbage.
I would.
No, I agree though, because same thing. The pediatrician the other day, they were like, "Oh, you have to wear a mask in here still." I was like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I put it on. And I kept it under my nose. Nobody said anything.
You know what? And if they would have said that to me, I would have been like, you know what? I don't want to be the guy that's going to get a kid sick because you're in a kid's doctor. You know what I mean? Like, I'll put it on, no problem. I'm not that guy. I'm not going to sit there and be like, you're not going to, I don't know you. You're a doctor I've never met before. I'm not putting my mask on. Because
Well, no, but I think if you're at a hospital, if you're at some type of medical facility, wearing a mask is, even without COVID, is appropriate. I've always thought that. I've seen that in the 90s when I was going to the doctor. People just wear masks because they're at it. You don't want to spread your germs or get someone else's germs.
Right. So,
but now that COVID is a thing, and they were like, we're having another mask mandate. You have to wear your mask. And we know it didn't work the first time. Do you think people are going to be like, all right, yeah, I'll wear the mask again?
Not at all. If they try it again in New York and mandate masks, I guarantee you about 30% of the people will abide. And the other 30, the other 60, 70, I can't do math, are not going to. Or they're going to do what I do. And you know what I mean? We're going to be typical New Yorkers, like, fuck it, who the fuck are you? Like, look at this fucking guy. And then I'm going to put my mask on anyway, go into Starbucks with my mask half cocked over my fucking face, pick up my coffee and walk out and not give a shit what anybody says.
The 30% that you're talking about is the people who still wear their masks in the car alone, walking in the sidewalk.
Right. You know what I mean? Those are the people that are like extremely
extremists.
Extremists, right? Germaphobes, whatever you want to call them. They're the ones that are going to be like, okay, I'm wearing my gloves while I drive. My mask is up. I'm not answering this phone call until I pull my mask up. You know what I mean?
Right, but that's the same. It's similar. Frank says that's sheep. You believe whatever you want to hear. Or at the same time, Joe just gave an example before, and he's like, if they say I need to wear my mask to go to work, I'm gonna wear my mask to go to work. That's just following orders.
But that's what I'm saying. That's just a follower. You're a sheep. You're the one sheep in the group of 50 that's like, oh, they're all doing this. All right, I'm gonna do this. That's
whatever. I don't give a shit what you call that.
I don't know. To me, I just don't like being that. Like, that's just, I'd rather at least, I could end up being that, but I'm going to ask a couple questions first. I'm not going to just,
but that's, it's almost silly because if a tornado's ripping through your fucking town right now and they're like, hey, you need to get out of your house right now. And
that's a little different, Joe.
Oh,
no, not even. Honestly, that's not a different. To your point, if somebody called me and was like, yo, there's a tornado coming down the block right now.
Dude, if there's a tornado,
I'm telling the government, if they're announcing on the fucking thing, emergency evacuation right now, leave. You have to. And if you don't, $1,000 fine for 30 seconds and look 10 first days in
to
jail.
make sure. I would probably, like, while I'm getting in my car or something, at least look for it. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would still.
Come on, bro. It's the same thing. The government's telling you what to do, and you're gonna listen to them instead of being the guy that's saying this is like my house. And
I'm not saying that doesn't mean that I'm not going to end up doing it, but I'm not going to just be like, oh, you're doing it. Okay. I'm going to have a couple questions first. I might ask or be curious about some things first. I'm not going to just automatically.
You think you're at the DMV line and it's like they tell you something, you can ask a couple questions and then move on to the next thing. There's no fucking time for questions sometimes, Frank. And
there's always time for questions. There's always time for questions.
Who are you asking that you're going to get an immediate answer?
It doesn't, you don't have to necessarily ask someone. You could look it up, you could whatever, but doesn't mean I can't.
They're telling you a mile away.
Is there a
Joe's telling me I can't have thoughts right now in America.
Through, barreling towards your house. It'll be at you in 25 fucking minutes. It's only a mile and a half down. You need to leave now. You're going to say, well, I got a couple questions first. Let me Google this just to double check.
I got 25 minutes. All right. So I got like 3 minutes to actually think about this for a second then. Well, there's always time for questions.
All right, I guess.
To me, there's always time to understand a situation, know a situation, even if it has to be quickly broken down, even if there's always some amount of time, a lot.
You say there's always time for questions, but why is it we can ask them all these questions and get no answers?
That I agree with you. I think that there's things that should be answered.
I think we should get answers too. Absolutely. And again, that's just.
I think there's certain. Oh no, I take that back because going to like the federal cases, that I think there's certain things that there are reasons why you can't get an answer. It's just not what you want to hear, so it's upsetting.
Right, but there's also, so I would rather questions that can't be answered than answers that can't be questioned.
Right, but
I feel like that's where we are right now. Right, you're not allowed to ask questions. They don't answer them.
Yeah, exactly.
Here we go. Perfect example. In the meantime, right? Okay, so COVID happened. They told you to put mask on. Didn't work. This whole thing that we just said, Danny. Now they're going to mandate you again to wear the mask, right? You still never got answers. So you're still waiting for an answer to your questions 6 months ago. Maybe longer.
Okay.
So now what? You got no answers. We're 8 months down the line and they're telling you to wear your mask again. You asked 100 million questions on this podcast to your friends, to people at work. You got no direct answer. And here you are 9 months later, they're putting masks back as a mandate. What do? You got no answers. What are you going to do?
Well, you probably have some answer. There'd have to be a reason why. Like, okay,
Like
why are we
you
doing this
think
again?
you're
Well,
going to
there's a
get your
spike in
answer
cases
so
again
quick, and it's so easy to get an answer for a situation like this.
on why they were.
And
put a
you're not
mandate?
going to
Yeah.
abide by anything they tell you until
Dude,
you
if
get an
there's
answer.
going to be a
So
mandate, you
what
really
are you
don't think
gonna
there's
do
going to be a
next when they
reason
tell you
why?
to
There's
wear
going to
your
be
mask?
another panic. There's going to be another protest. There's going to be another something. Of course, they're going to give you a reason.
asked
Oh,
Danny
because there's
a
spike
question.
cases.
What are you
No,
going to
but
do?
What am I going to do if they try to mandate the masks again and they didn't answer my
Again.
questions?
And yep, you're living in New York. They're gonna
But why
They're
would
going to
you-
mandate us again next week. They said it. What are you going to do? Are you going to not obey, not wear your mask? Are you going to not go to certain stores and restaurants again? What are you going to do? Honestly,
The long and short answer. What do you want? The long or the short answer?
any answer you feel like.
Because
giving.
the answer
You
that I'm
walked
gonna
away
say
for a
is-
second, so hold on.
No, I know
if
that,
you-
but I mean your question.
If you think that if they're gonna come out with another mandate, and
Yeah.
the first time around it didn't work, and then there was a break in between ending the mandate of masks, and then there was, let's call it 6 to 9 months
Right.
of a time period where you didn't need to wear a mask,
I
and
just
now
said
they're
all
telling
this.
you got to wear a mask again. No, I'm not
Yes.
wearing a mask.
Okay.
Because
so
the-
what are
between
you going
those
to do
9
when you
months-
can't go to the gym no more? You're just going
Joe,
to stay
why-
home.
Wait, Joe,
And
I'm
why
gonna go
would
to the
your
gym without my
question-
mask because for 6 months we were good, and
Wait,
now all of a sudden-
Right. So you're just going to be angry about it. And I'm not trying to prove
Not
you wrong
angry
or be
about it.
mean, but like you're going to be angry about it. You're not going to go to the gym. You're not
You
going to be able to
said
go to the
before.
supermarket. What are
He's
you going
saying
to
you're
do?
still going to have to abide by it.
I'm still
basically.
gonna do all that stuff. You said before.
But you're not going to be allowed in. They're not going to allow you in without the mask. So how are you going to continue doing what you're doing? They might let you walk into the supermarket and get your stuff after you told them no. But when you get to the register, they're not going to ring you up. So what are you going to do?
Self-checkout. That's what's up.
He's right. No, wait, but Joe, why?
All right.
Why,
Fair. All right. You got me there. All right.
why was your question? Why is it that they're going to put another mandate, but you're not going to have
Because
any answers? Because
Danny-
the first mandate we
No,
did have
Frank,
those
that
answers.
wasn't you. No, let me say it to you because you were in the middle of doing
No, I
something.
know. I let my dog in.
So Danny said that he wants answers, and that's why he asked so many questions. And you too, you're going to ask questions before you just start doing what people tell you. Now, COVID happened, the whole mask thing, it happened. You and Danny both asked a million questions. You maybe got 1 or 2 answers for some things that you wanted to know, but you don't have an answer enough to wear a mask again if they mandate you, right? So it's been so many months, you never got your answer, right?
But that's what I'm saying. Why? Why would it be you? But you didn't get your answer because we did, in the sense of cases being spiked. We had those reasons why they were supposed to be mandated. So why would you say there wouldn't be a reason?
What?
You said you for months you have to wear, but you didn't get those answers.
Right.
We did get those answers. Cases were spiking. That's why we had to do it. People were getting spiked
you
numbers
miss the
again in certain
whole-
states.
5 minutes before you got up and walked away, the conversation we were having?
No, what are you talking about? I'm
Danny,
literally going
am
off
I
of what you
lost
said.
or is he lost? Who's
I think
lost?
we all got lost in translation
No,
because what I was gonna say was that Joe was saying before, like he's gonna do what he's got to do to keep living his life.
yes, I know
regardless.
that.
Right, with or
I mean,
without
he's
any
doing-
answers.
Right.
Yes,
I'm
I know
gonna
that,
do
but-
what I
Danny's
gotta
not.
do.
Danny's not gonna. He's not gonna do what I do, and
I'm gonna do what I do, which
Because-
is you tell me I
because-
can't go to the gym without a mask.
Right?
I'm
Why?
gonna walk
Because
into the mask. If you're gonna physically remove me, that's a different story.
right, but you want an answer for why you have to wear the mask again, especially if
Right.
it's
So
not
let's
working.
say they come out.
That's
and
what I'm
they're
That's
like,
all.
saying,
"Oh,
Frank.
He would get an answer for why he would have to mask again. That's what I'm saying. Whether it was cases
But
were
he
going up
thinks
again
it's
or
not true. Is where I'm
No.
getting at.
okay, that was where my mix
okay.
up
I'm
was.
sorry. That's where it was.
That's where my
He
mix up
thinks
was. So
that
like
that's
they're
not
telling
true.
him these
That's what I'm
things, but
saying.
he
We just
doesn't
had this
believe
whole
that.
conversation, Frank.
Okay, gotcha.
Danny doesn't think that it's true. He doesn't think it's going to help. That's not the answer.
I don't
It's
think the
not
mask.
because-
I believe in the spikes
Right.
and the cases and stuff for the most
But
part.
the mask ain't helping. There's no answer.
Correct.
To how they actually help.
And they've
Oh,
That's
well,
what
yeah,
I'm
that's
asking.
just you got to
Come
suck
on.
it up because
That's
at the end of the
what I'm
day,
saying.
if you're a low man on the totem pole at work, but
You're
your
never gonna
boss
get
says
an
this is the
answer.
best answer, and you're like, well, no, it's not. This will be better. No, this is the best answer. Do it this way. You have to do it that way.
You'll
So
never
even
make
though
it. You'll
you
never
may
make
think
it
that the
anywhere.
mask isn't as effective, which it might not be, and hey, we could all think that. But if a restaurant's saying you have to wear this when you come in, or this is the thing, yeah, sorry, you have to. Like,
So then
you
you
ma-
just have to
you could
comply
have
and
the
breathe in this
opinion.
carbon
That's
dioxide again.
no, but being an American is having
Carbon
the
monoxide.
opinion, not being able to do whatever you want. So you can have the opinion to say, listen, I don't think that this is as effective. I don't think this actually helps, but you still have to do it.
You still have to do it. And
So
you know
being
what?
an American, you could say that you don't agree with
The
it.
guy at
but
the
you still have to follow
supermarket,
the law.
the guy at the supermarket or the restaurant is going to look at you and say, "I think it's bullshit." Also, but hey, hey, I don't want to get shut down, so just wear it to your seat and take it off.
And like
You're gonna
like,
still
I'm
give
gonna
that
do it,
guy
they're
a
gonna have to
problem?
remove me. They are
You know
gonna
what I mean?
remove you
You're
with legal
other
force.
people that don't believe it either. But guess what? It's just a fucking rule right now.
People think that their beliefs are important enough to be able to trump a law or like let them do whatever they want to do. Like you still have to abide by what you're supposed to do. You still have to follow the rules and the laws and stuff. You could believe what you want, but you still got to listen and do the right thing. You could think it's okay to kill somebody.
Just
if you kill someone, you're still gonna get arrested.
I didn't have a license for like 8 years. You know why? Because I think all the rules on the road are absolute bullshit. I really do. I hate it.
But if a cop pulls him over, he knows he's wrong.
Guess what? Guess who didn't have a
window.
license for 6 years because I thought those rules did. It doesn't matter what the fuck you think. That's just the
55 and
law,
35.
Danny.
Yeah.
The law. I
That
want to do
point is
60
right.
coming up my block. The sign says I can only do 35.
I'm sorry
agree
that
with
I didn't
sign.
understand what you meant before, Joe. But so yes, I do agree
Yes,
with
and
you.
I'm sorry because I think you walked away as
I
was
did. I let my
saying
dog in
about
real
the
quick.
mask. But yeah, he wants an answer for why he has to wear the mask again if it doesn't work. Guess what? There's not going to be an answer.
Hey,
You're
what
just
if the
telling me
answer
We're
is-
just gonna
what if the
blindly
answer
follow
is
these people until whatever.
What if the
I'm
answer
not
is we've been in a
blindly
continued
following. It's a
economical
mess.
crisis and this is going to
It's a
help us
mess.
financially? What if that's the answer?
Starts
They're
with the
not.
mask.
They're not telling me to give them my fucking bank information and the $3,000 I have. You know what I mean? Like they're not running my life. They're telling me to be precautious and wear a mask when I go into this restaurant. And then guess what? Is it going to last forever? Hopefully not.
Okay,
I
so now
highly don't
let's
think
say-
so. So my
Let's say
mask is going
based
to
on
go
what you're
up.
saying, based on what you're saying,
Yeah.
let's say they remandate this mask thing, right? And I'm like not about it.
Yeah.
And then they start implementing this rule or law, whatever you want to call it, because the law, I don't think mask mandate was a law. Was it a law? It wasn't passed. It was just
No, it wasn't passed. It was
Okay.
just.
So now they passed this new rule where if you snitch on your neighbor who doesn't wear a mask, you get.
Where are you hearing?
I'm
these
giving a
things?
hypothetical.
Oh,
I'm giving a
okay.
hypothetical.
I was gonna
Because
say
people
what?
are just people are just following the rules or following orders. So now
Right.
let's say you have a credit score, right? And you have
No, wait, go back on the neighbor. What were you going to say? If your neighbor's not wearing a mask, you got to
if your
tell
neighbor's
them
not wearing a
before.
mask and you snitch on them, you get an
Yeah.
extra whatever. Let's just call it
10% on
fucking.
your credit score, or 10
Yeah.
points on your credit score.
That's it.
I don't
I
think
thought that's where you were going with
that
that.
is
I
so
was.
unrealistic. And will
I'm-
there
I'm
be
out.
people that follow that? Probably. I got a couple neighbors right now. I'll tell you, will 100% be on that
If you
train.
see something, say something. That's a real
But
point.
They're gonna start
again-
relying on people to snitch on each other, and they're
Probably.
gonna tear us apart.
But at the end of the day, Danny, it's just like our regular court system now. I get into a fight with you, we get arrested. It's he said, she
we
said.
get arrested.
Right, arrested. What are they gonna do, bro? They're gonna turn everybody against us off of he said, she said shit.
They're
Oh,
doing
I
it with
want
Johnny
you to
Depp
tell
and
me.
Amber Heard.
I want you to tell me if your neighbor wasn't wearing your mask. I hate one of my neighbors. I'm calling every day to say I see them not wearing their mask. I'm
Snitch.
lying.
You snitch.
You know what I mean? They're never good. They're never
But
gonna
exactly.
do that.
You don't
That's a
like someone, so you're
poor-
gonna. I get you.
That's a poor.
get you.
That will never
But
happen.
I'm not saying it will. Or
And if
won't
it
ever
did
happen.
happen, guess
And I'm not-
what? I'm going next door and be like, yo, Mike, you snitching on me, Mike? He's gonna be like, nah, John, I ain't snitching on you. I ain't snitching on you, Mike. And then we're gonna light up a joint and we're gonna fucking go about our day, man.
But there are people who don't smoke that are gonna be like, yeah, I'm snitching.
All
on you,
right,
you're
so
right.
here's an extra.
So now let's
fucking-
say that whatever I
I
just
smell something here. They don't have masks on.
let's talk about the scenario we just talked about, right? And now someone is snitching on you for not wearing a mask. Let's say you have your mask, you forgot to wear it on. Whatever.
Prove it.
So
Bring
now
me to
here's-
court. Prove it.
Let's say
Everybody's
you
got
take a
the phone
video
now.
of you.
I don't
Yeah,
give
I
a
was like,
shit.
everybody got the
Hold
phone.
on,
All right.
hold on.
I didn't wear my
Take a video
mask.
of you.
So what?
Okay. So
What
now
am-
you get
what are they gonna
10% docked from your credit score.
I don't give a shit. What am I
You
doing?
say that now until you try to buy a car, try to buy a house, try to get a loan.
I'm doing it now with the terrible credit score. I
Right.
have a
No,
car,
but I
I
get
have
but
a
if
beautiful
The point
fucking
that he's
place.
saying is
If
like, you know
people are
how
gonna
we've
keep-
made the reference of like Illuminati making things difficult for people in their
But see,
contracts.
this
This is them
scenario-
doing it in your life. Is what
This
he's saying.
Joe,
scenario,
you say it'll never
is-
happen.
this
but
counts
just-
as extreme. This is extreme. It
I
will
think that would be
never.
extreme.
It will never realistically happen ever.
Nope.
I'll tell you right now. I
Joe
hope
knows
5
all.
years
Never
from
Joe
say
now.
knows
never.
everything.
unless
No,
you're
I
gonna
don't
land.
know all, but when you tell me a scenario like this,
I'm giving
where
you a
the government-
hypothetical. What happens?
Right, and I'm
So you
telling
can't just be like, that'll never happen because I'm saying it's hypothetical.
And again, if it does happen and people start snitching on me, whatever, man. I've been snitched on for shit I didn't do
yeah,
a
but
lot,
this
for a
shit
lot of
is
things
going
in
to
my
affect
life.
you differently. I'm saying.
It can't be any worse than how some things have affected me from what people have snitched on me for things I
Okay.
did. I've
Well,
gotten
then,
into
in
some
that
trouble
case,
for
point
shit that
proven.
I never did that
To
people
each his
pissed on
own.
me for.
So you might be
And
living better than somebody else.
Like I said from beginning, I'm gonna be a man and I'm gonna fucking move on with my life and deal with it, bro. What am I gonna do? Cry about it every time something
So
happens to me?
am I less of a man because I chose not to get vaccinated?
Yeah, bro. Go get your
Yeah.
fucking shot, Danny. Restaurants, like David Spade said yesterday.
Man up.
restaurants.
What's
Get your shot,
crazy
get
though
your
about this
lollipop.
thing?
I'm
What's
going
wild,
restaurants.
7 months to a year ago, people were either fully Joe or fully Danny, right? And now we're like, wait a second. Some of us were supposed to die and nothing's going on. Why are we all still vaccinated and living or unvaccinated and living? Or why are we still unvaxxed and dying or unvaxxed and dying? Like, where is the benefit here?
We're figuring out life.
People who are vaxxed, triple vaxxed,
I agree with that. I
their
think we're still
cases are
figuring it
higher
out.
than people who
we're
are
figuring it
unvaxxed.
out, Danny.
I think we're still figuring it out. I don't think that the answer is there yet, and that's why.
Unfortunately,
Because it's so
happening
frustrating because it's been
to
so
you in
long.
your life now, right? And you're an adult and you got to deal with it differently than if you were a kid. You probably wouldn't give a fucking shit. You'd be like,
You're
well,
right.
let's go to the doctor.
I mean, think about it like
Let them
this. Though.
fucking poke me.
Other times in history when things have come out, like, and not to compare this to like the plague, but like things like the plague or other
plague.
disease. I was gonna say like other
I get you.
diseases that have come out though. They all lasted for a long time before they were gone. Like if you read about these times in history, it was like 5 years that this happened, 10 years that this happened. We're only in 2 years of this happening as a pandemic, as a nation or as a worldwide pandemic. So I'm sure we got some more time before it passes, before we get those answers, before we get the final, oh, we finally figured this out. Oh, okay, this is going to be the vaccine that goes on for the next 20 years in the future that kids will get when they're born, like a polio or like a whatever. I'm sure we're still in that stage, and that's why it's
still doing
frustrating.
research on it.
None of us were here for any of those past times in the history. So we're experiencing what those people went through in all of those other diseases and stuff too.
On a roller coaster.
That's true.
So
But now, do you want to be part of the people who decided to not
No,
get
Danny,
this
I want to
experiment?
be a part of just me going about my day every day. I don't
You
want to
didn't even
choose
give him a
sides.
chance.
Because he's like, do you want to be pro or do you want to be con?
No,
And
it's
I'm
not
like,
pro
No,
or
I
con.
just want to be me right here doing exactly what I'm doing.
I just want to be Joe Blow.
When it goes down in history,
You gotta
which
let me
side of the
fly.
fence are you on?
I'm a
I said
peacock.
fuck
You
him.
just gotta
Shoot
let
him
me
anyway.
fly.
This kid.
Despot.
Despot. All right.
It's
Well.
a real thing. It's my first
I'll
one.
tell you, I want to be con. I don't want to be pro because I know exactly. Is that where you were going?
No.
Where were you going? Finish then. I cut you off.
I was going to
apologize.
say, it's just going to be unfortunate to the people who were forced to get this vaccine or chose to get this vaccine. And then in years from now, like Frank said, when they do the research, we get our answers. Those American people are going to find out that they were part of a scam and there's nothing they can do about it.
Like you gonna feel bamboozled? Is that what you're saying?
Like they're just going to do us wrong. And I'm just saying, I'm happy
That's
where
it.
I'm at and you're happy
Danny's
where you're at.
shorted in his life now, so he's
No, not
pissed.
me. I didn't fucking get no pop. But
See,
I'm just
I
saying,
think
for people
that's what
like
I'm saying.
that,
I think Danny thinks that people that got it are gonna feel stupid if they find
I
out
don't
that
think they're
it
going to feel
wasn't.
stupid. I'm going to feel bad when the evidence comes out that it was not
But why would
good
you
for
feel
them to
bad?
get it.
Because they're not gonna feel
Because
bad.
they
Like
were
the
forced
people
to
like
get it.
Joe that
And
got
I
it,
was-
he's
You
not
know,
gonna feel
Danny-
bad.
No,
He's
but they're
gonna be
pushing
like,
it on
"Oh,
me.
okay,
Like,
it is
get
what
it, get
is."
it, get it, get it, get it, get it.
We're
Now
gonna
I
be
don't get it.
We're gonna be friends till
I'm
we're
the asshole
fucking
now,
90 years old,
But in the
right?
future,
I can't wait till you get dementia at like 70, and I'm gonna be like, "Oh, you should have got the vaccine, Danny, because look who's got dementia and I don't."
actually, Joe's going to be like, "Oh, you doing that?"
I was just gonna say, I can
Because your
wait.
body's going
for
to be
the-
all fucked up.
I can wait if Joe happens to get it at like 40, and we're like, "Fuck, man, we fucking tried to tell you."
I tried to tell you.
I
Joe.
can
know you
wait
don't
for that because I
understand.
don't want
remember
that
who
to
I am,
happen.
but I tried to tell you.
That'd be some wild shit.
Oh,
I just wish you guys the best. I don't
No,
know.
honestly-
Fuck this shit.
All in all, we don't know shit.
We
Listen,
don't know
at
shit.
the end of the day, none of us know shit. Even you guys listening, we don't know shit. It's all our own opinion in our heads from how we're thinking about whatever. None of us know any shit.
You don't know what you don't know. And the more you don't know, the more you know you don't know.
That's why we could talk about this
And
forever.
therefore, the more conspiracies you will know.
You call it a conspiracy. I say wait 5 years for the results.
I will say though, there are some things that, like in the beginning of us first starting to record, that Danny did say that were like, I don't want to say way left or out there, but like there was a couple of things that he said about COVID, like not martial law, but like things that like the lockdown or this and that of like, watch, they're gonna make people have to do it. People are gonna lose their jobs, and we were like, nah, or whatever. And then certain things that did happen, like that, I can't think of on the spot every little thing, but I do know that like I get your point, D. Like some of the things
I might
that
not be 100 spot on. 100%
exactly. I'm not
spot on
saying you
for
get 10 out of
everything.
10 of the conspiracy thoughts, right? But there have
Well,
been a
I'm
couple
getting
things that
over
you have said that
50% on
have
most of them.
there have come through.
That's
I'll
all
take
you
over-
need.
I'll take over
51-49 wins the house, boys.
50. I'll take,
That's it.
yeah. All right.
Take that.
Take that.
That swing vote matters.
All right, I'm done.
Oh man, I can
I'm
get.
COVID out.
Yeah, we can.
I feel like
mean,
I
I
got
can go
COVID
on
now.
this whole swing vote voted out shit, but that's a whole nother topic. I don't want to get into that.
Danny's
Take
You know
us
how I
out.
feel
bring
about
up
that
another
shit.
topic that we can get into another time.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to us bullshit today. That was fun. Thank you for all the likes, listens, shares, and follows. We appreciate all of your support.
Subscribe on YouTube.
Go like our website. It's pretty dope.